going to answer that question. Do I need to eliminate carbohydrates in order to get rid of bloating? Like, carbs are a hot topic. Everybody's talking about them. Good carbs, bad carbs, no carbs, high carbs. When can I have carbs? A hot topic in the training industry, and I want to answer that question for you as it relates to getting rid of bloating. Do I need to eliminate carbs in order to get rid of bloating? The answer is, it depends. So first of all, the answer to that question is yes, if you are allergic or you have some type of sensitivity to carbohydrates. So there are a lot of different allergies and sensitivities that you may have to carbohydrates. Some of the most common allergies and sensitivities are to wheat and corn, especially in our country. Wheat even more than corn in our country because it's in everything. So one way to know if you have a sensitivity or an allergy is to go to a doctor and get tested. However, a very easy way to know, and one that will probably motivate you more to take action based on that allergy or insensitivity, is to just eliminate it from your diet for a few days to a few weeks. Notice how you feel. Notice the difference. If you see a dramatic difference, then it's highly likely that you have that sensitivity, and you're probably going to be more motivated to eliminate that thing or from your diet than if you just went to a doctor and they pricked you and said, oh yes, by the way, you're allergic. Being able to actually feel the effects of how it's affecting you and being able to realize how abnormal your normal way of feeling and functioning is highly motivating. So if you suspect that you may have a sensitivity or intolerance to wheat or corn or any type of food, eliminate it for a few weeks and see how it goes when you reintroduce it, and that will let you know right off the bat. So the answer is yes, you need to eliminate carbohydrates to get rid of bloating if you have a sensitivity or an allergy. Because if you have a sensitivity or an allergy, eating foods that you're sensitive to will definitely, it will affect your digestion in a negative way. It can cause puffiness in your hands and feet and midsection and all of your limbs actually. And if you have a sensitivity, then eliminating that food is absolutely a great idea. However, if you are not allergic or sensitive to any particular carbohydrates, the answer is no, you do not. The answer is no, you do not need to eliminate carbohydrates just to get rid of bloating. However, there is a strategy, a very specific strategy that you can use that involves carbohydrate in your carbohydrate intake if you find that you're bloated and you want to get rid of that bloating fast. So 3 temporary, and I want to stress temporary. You do not want to do these things indefinitely. 3 temporary strategies to get rid of bloating fast. I want to highlight the strategies are temporary. The getting rid of bloating is not temporary, okay? So number 1, eliminate processed carbs. So crackers, breads, cereals, anything that had quite a few steps from the ground to your table, we're going to consider that processed. Even if it's whole wheat, whole grain, I don't care what it says in the package, if there were multiple steps between the ground and your table, then it would qualify as a processed carbohydrate. So when you get rid of processed carbohydrate, the reason why you want to do this temporarily if you're experiencing bloating that you want to eliminate fast is because just like we talked about on the scope about 5 healthy foods that could be contributing to your bloating, we talked about how certain sugars, certain fibers, certain things are just indigestible. So as our body tries to digest these things, one of the byproducts of that attempt at digestion is gas and bloating. So with processed carbohydrates, they are likely to have additives that could be indigestible, or they're likely to have additives that your body just does not react well to. And as your body attempts to break those things down, it can produce gas and bloating. So that's the reason why behind strategy number one around what you want to do with carbs when it comes to getting rid of bloating. Point number 2, 3 temporary strategies. Number 2, around what to do with carbs to reduce bloating. Eliminate gas-producing carbohydrates, guys. Eliminate carbohydrates that are known to produce gas, especially if you know that you're sensitive to them. So in that scope about 5 healthy foods that could be contributing to your bloating, we talked about how beans, peas, and lentils and even soybeans can produce gas and bloating in some people. We talked about how if you eat them all the time, it's very possible that your digestive system has gotten used to them and is able to break them down without producing gas. But we also talked about how that may not be the case for a lot of people. So if you are purposely trying to get rid of bloating, following a protocol for 1 to 3 days, very similar to my Bloat Be Gone blueprint, then you want to eliminate those gas-producing carbohydrates for just a few days. Remember, guys, these are 3 temporary strategies. These are not things that you need to do forever and ever. Amen. Okay? So the third and final thing that you're going to do, guys, third point, is you're going to eat 1 serving of carbohydrates, starchy carbohydrates that does not fall in the category of the first 2 things we just talked about per day, and you're going to do that post-workout. Remember I said this strategy is temporary? I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy my carbs. So 1 serving of carbs post-workout forever and ever, amen, would not work for me. It would not be sustainable, right? It would be a ticket to having intense cravings and probably going on a binger with granola and then gaining all that weight back. However, for 1 to 3 days, you want to cut down to 1 serving and you want to do it post-workout. And again, 1 serving of carbs that are not processed and that are not gas producing. Okay, so the why behind this, guys, remember, I always tell you that carbohydrates are not bad for you. Carbohydrates are not necessarily like fat producing, even starchy carbohydrates. However, manipulating your carbohydrate intake is one way to see a change in your body composition and in your water retention. So like I said, going down to 1 serving of carb per day post-workout for a long period of time is not a sustainable strategy for most people, and it would lead to weight regain for most people. However, for 1 to 3 days, that is a perfect way to help your body shed some of the water that it may be retaining from an accidental indulgence or from an overindulgence over the weekend or on a vacation or whenever that may have happened, you guys.